Hello, everybody, and welcome to our special webinar today. I'm really glad everybody could join us. So I don't do this a lot. This is going to be a pretty rare walkthrough of a couple different things today. We're going to be talking about how you get business credit step by step. We're also going to be talking about how you get loans and credit lines. We're also going to be diving in and talking more in depth about the fastest way to be able to get both. So today we're going to be talking about how to get $250,000 in business credit for your EIN that's not linked to your social. And we're also going to talk about how to get business loans and credit lines even when you think you can't qualify at a bank. So I'll be your host today. My name's Ty Crandall, and if I haven't had the luxury of meeting you, talking with you, and you don't know much about me, I'll tell you a little bit about myself before we jump in. I've been in the finance industry for about 17 years. I finished high school, I went into the military, loved the military. When I got out of the military, I've pretty much spent most of my professional career in the financing field, and accounting for probably funding of hundreds of millions of dollars of loans. I speak about business credit worldwide, so I think Singapore is the furthest I've been invited to speak. I speak all around the country at any given time. You can go to our Facebook page and see all the different cities that we're speaking in on a regular basis. And I'm also the author of two books, Perfect Credit and Business Credit Decoded. Business Credit Decoded is the best-selling book on business credit on Amazon. So if you go, you can see a bunch of reviews. You can see a bunch of people purchase that. And again, you can see the reason I'm telling you all this is not to pat myself on the back. If you know me at all, you'll know I'm a very humble person. I just want you to know before we dive in today what my expertise is, what my knowledge is, so you know that I have the knowledge to be able to share with you today to make sure that you understand that I know a lot about the topic we're going to be diving into. I'm also a business credit authority with news stations, podcasts, radio, and TV. If you go to our main website, which is creditsuite.com, you can click on credibility and see a link right there to Credit Suite and the press and see a lot of the coverage that we get from these podcast, radio, TV, and the news stations as well. I also oversee the largest business credit and coaching operation in the country. So we actually have thousands of partners that are out there around the country that help people build business credit and get loans. And not only do we help a lot of people directly as a company get business credit and loans, but we also help thousands of partners service their customers who come in to get business credit and loans again as well. So again, I'm not trying to pat myself on the back at all. I just want you to know that I have the knowledge and expertise to be able to speak about the topics that we're going to talk a little bit more about today. So speaking about today, what are we going to cover today? Well, today we're going to talk about how you can immediately get business credit that's linked to your business EIN and that's not linked to your social security number. Even if you're a startup, even if you don't have collateral, even if you have credit issues, I'm still going to map out how to be able to build business credit step by step. I'm also then going to teach you how to immediately start using it to get the credit you want and need, even for major sources like Target, Walmart, Staples, Lowe's, Visa, MasterCard, Amex. We're going to map it out. We're going to talk about how to get fleet credit for auto vehicle expenses repairs. We're going to talk about cash credit, Visa, MasterCard, et cetera, et cetera. We're also going to be talking about store credit, Target, Lowe's, Apple, all those type of things. Almost all major retail stores offer business credit. Okay, we're also going to talk about how to access loans, even as a startup, even with credit challenges, even when you lack collateral. What's interesting is when we survey people coming in to work with us, we ask them a lot of questions, and one of the questions that we get 100% answer to is that people don't think they can get financing at their bank. And you're probably right, and we're going to talk a little bit more about why it's difficult to get money at your bank, and we're also going to talk about other sources that you can use as well. And we're going to talk about how to make money offering business credit financing. So if you want to actually be able to get it for your business, that's great. We're also going to talk about a kind of a secret path that not a lot of people know about, where you can actually make money offering both and helping other business owners as well. So I know a lot of you will probably have comments and questions as we go. And if you type them into the chat, I will stay after and make sure those are answered. At last check before I fired up the webinar today, we had about 1,117 people registered. So obviously, if we let everybody ask questions along the way and I answered them, I wouldn't be able to get through it all, but I want to let you know that I will get to them. And I also want to let you know that if you see anybody in the comments that's having an audio issue, then make sure that if you could be so kind to then respond and say, hey, make sure that you use the call-in number or even use a different browser. Sometimes people have some funky audio issues, but I'll kind of keep an eye back and forth with the chat. I see if a lot of people are telling me that there's an issue, but if it's only a person here and there, usually it's on your end. And if you all could help me as a group to address those people, that would help me greatly. So before we dive in, let's just address the elephant in the room. Most people who try to get money to grow a business fail. And that's because most people try to go to their bank. A lot of people that we talk to, when we ask them, where would you go to get money? And when I stand in front of large audiences and I ask this question, unanimously the crowd says, my bank. And look, your bank is a great source of capital for a lot of different things, but banks focus on very conservative risk. As you'll find out later, most money doesn't come from the big banks. It comes from alternative lending sources. And so we're going to talk about that today, how you're going probably to the wrong place to get money, and how if you go to the right places, then you can actually qualify even when you have no chance of qualifying for money at your bank. Most people don't even know about business credit, and they don't know that it can be built regardless of personal credit quality. A lot of people think that because they have credit issues, they can't get money to fund a business. That is ridiculous. The reality is more than half of business products that are out there today that you can get money don't even have personal credit requirements. And today we're going to talk about how you can get business credit regardless of cash flow, credit, or collateral. So even when you can't qualify for a loan. So we're going to help you overcome that if that's a mental obstacle that you've had that's prevented you from being able to even try to get the money that you're looking for. A lot of people apply for business credit in the wrong order. We're going to talk about the biggest mistakes people make when building business credit and how people fail and get denied because they kind of skip ahead and try to get to the wrong type of credit too soon. And if you do it the right way and in the right order, how you can actually build your business credit and get approved, it's just a matter of the sequence that you use to apply. And we're going to talk about that to help you overcome that obstacle. And look, a lot of business owners don't know that money is available based on their business strengths. And this is really ties back to business loans. A lot of people think that you can't get a credit line unless you have really good credit and really good business, but that's not the case. Well, today we'll talk about several options where you can get real physical credit lines for your business, even as a startup, and other ones that don't even look at personal credit for approval. So if you have had any of these concerns that's held you back from getting access to the money you need, well, we're going to dive in and address all those. So are you in the right place? Well, if you're looking to get money to start or grow your business, that's exactly what the whole theme of is today. And I think the webinar itself said this was going to be 60 minutes, but in the invitation, you probably saw this is going to be 90. We're going to go over a bunch of content here that you're going to be able to get the step-by-step through. So we'll go about 90 minutes today, and we're going to talk about how to get money to grow your business, period. Whether it's credit, whether it's loans, whether it's credit lines, all different kinds of way to do this. You're in the right place if you want high-limit revolving credit accounts that aren't linked to your social. If you don't want to personally guarantee the credit you're getting in the business. If you have credit issues and you know you're not going to be able to get a $30,000 Visa or a $35,000 Amazon card. Well, we're going to talk about how to do all those things regardless of personal credit. So if that's why you're here, you're definitely in the right place. And if you're looking for the easiest, the fastest way to get the most amount of money for your business, then you're definitely in the right place, because that probably is the theme of everything we're going to cover today. What is the easiest way and the fastest way to get money, even when you don't think you can get a bank loan, even when everybody else has told you no? What is the easiest and fastest way to do this? It's exactly what we're going to dive in and talk about. So a little bit about me. If you don't think that you can get credit or money, I completely understand how you feel. I actually built several businesses using my own money, my own personal credit. And if you don't know about my story, that's really where it is, my first business I ever built was a mortgage company. I was a mortgage broker for years. I loved what I did. And I got into business to do it for myself at the height of the mortgage industry. And things were going really well. I had a big team of processors and a big team of loan officers, and we funded a lot of money in loans, and it was a really cool thing to be doing what I loved. And then the whole industry collapsed. And if you were there at the time, you understand how that felt. Now, I, like a lot of people, personally guaranteed my money. I didn't even know there was a better way. I thought I had to give my personal guarantee and sign for all the money that the business used. I didn't know that a lot of these loans were out there to carry me through the hard times. So unfortunately, I held on as long as I could, but because the business and the whole industry changed, we ended up having to shut down the business. And because I personally guaranteed everything in my business, then what happened was I basically lost everything, pushed me nearly to personal bankruptcy, hired a bankruptcy attorney, didn't end up going through, still to this day, am still finishing up some things to fight my way back. And again, it all came because I personally guaranteed everything in my business. And I'll never forget that. One of the hardest and lowest points of my own personal life was when I was standing in the family room of the home that my wife and I built to raise our family, and the moving truck was outside. Literally, it was the only lights that were on in the house. And my wife and I were kind of in an embrace, hugging, and she said, just bawling her eyes out, asking why this was happening to us, because our house was being foreclosed. We had to move out. And that was one of the lowest, it was the lowest point of my entire life, because if you ever get to a point where you can't support your family, then you can completely relate to where I am. And that was all because I personally guaranteed things. And then what happened after that was that a buddy of mine, as I started to go through my rebuilding process, introduced me to exactly what we're going to be talking about today, introduced me to business credit. And all of a sudden it changed my life, because I realized that you could get money without a personal guarantee. I realized that I had put my whole family's financial future in harm's way, not knowing that there was another solution. I didn't realize that all these different types of loans and credit lines were available, and if I would have, then I would have had money to get me through the hard times. So I made a lot of mistakes because I didn't have the information that I'm sharing with you today. And that's why I am here today. And a lot of people ask me why I put so much free information out there. That's because my goal is to try to touch everybody that will listen and teach you how to not make the mistakes that I made and not guarantee things for your business personally, so your personal assets are secure. And most importantly, get the money to grow, because we all know that businesses need money to grow. So if you don't think it's possible, I've been there, and I've come to a point now where I know it's possible, and that's exactly why I'm here sharing with you today, so you know exactly what is possible. So when we talk about business credit or corporate credit, what is business credit? Well, business credit is ultimately credit that's obtained in a business name. And with business credit, the business builds its own credit profile, its own credit score for its EIN number. So you're obviously familiar with consumer credit. You have a credit report and score that's linked to your Social Security number through TransUnion, Equifax, Experian are the main three consumer credit reporting agencies. What a lot of people don't know is that your business has exactly the same thing. Your EIN number has its own credit profile and score linked to it, and that reports to Experian, Equifax's commercial division, and Dun & Bradstreet, which is the biggest credit reporting agency in the world. So your EIN has its own credit profile and score, and here's the crazy thing. Even if you don't know it does, you don't even have to get any credit for the reporting agencies to populate a report for you, as I'll show you, and we'll talk a lot about a little bit later. And I'll even give you a free search that you can use to see if the reporting agencies know anything about you. So just like you have credit linked to your social, a business credit is credit that's linked to that EIN. Now, this is credit in the business's name, and it's based on the business's ability to pay, not you as the owner. And it's separate from your social. This is the only legal way you can create two credit profiles, because you have one for your business, one for you personally. One is based on, your ability to pay on the personal side. One is based on your business's ability to pay. So because it's based on your business's ability to pay, it doesn't have to be linked or based on your personal credit quality. That's why you can build business credit regardless of personal credit quality. And I went a little off the slide here, but the business quality, then once you start to obtain that initial credit profile and score, which I'll show you today how to do, you can then qualify for revolving credits like Staples, Lowe's, Sam's Club, Costco, BP, Walmart, MasterCard, Visa, even American Express cards. And I'm going to map out the whole process for that today. So a lot of reasons that business credit's awesome and that you're going to want to pay special attention to what we talk about. One of them is that it has no effect on personal credit. There's no adverse impact on your consumer credit scores. This is one of the biggest mistakes that we make as business owners. 10% of your credit score on the consumer side, your FICO, has to do with inquiries. So every time you go and put your personal credit in harm's way to get company for your business or money for your business, then they put an inquiry on your credit report, which lowers your consumer score. But most importantly, 30% of your consumer credit score is based up on what's called utilization. So if you get money for a personal credit card or a Capital One Spark card that makes themselves out to be a business card but really reports on your personal credit reports. When you use that money for the business, you really tank your consumer scores. So your ability to get business loans and consumer credit cards and everything you need your personal credit for is harmed because you're using your consumer credit to fund your business. With business credit, you don't have to do this. And business credit's not based on your consumer credit quality either. You can get approved no matter how bad your personal credit is. Even if your business credit or your consumer credit score is 350, you can still get business credit. How is that possible? It's simple. I'm going to show you today how to get this kind of corporate credit without giving them your social. If you don't give them your social, they can't pull your personal credit. And if they can't pull your personal credit, then no matter how good or bad it may be, it won't determine your approval rates and terms that you actually obtain. No personal guarantee is supplied with business credit. So you're not personally liable for your business debts with business credit. And that's obviously very meaningful to me because that's what pushed me to near personal bankruptcy. I mean, I will never forget them taking all the money out of my personal bank account and of me bouncing all kinds of checks at one of our lowest points because we defaulted on a business credit card and we personally signed, so they came and took all of our personal assets. So look, none of us expect to fail. That's it. We wouldn't be in business. We don't have the personality and attitude that we have to run businesses if we're in this thinking we're going to fail. But at the same time, the majority of businesses do fail. Statistics are against us. And in my case, even for things completely out of my control, like a shift in the economy. So that being said, it doesn't make sense to put your personal finances, your personal wealth, your family's financial future in harm's way if you don't need to. And that's one of the benefits of business credit is you don't have to provide a personal guarantee. You don't have to be personally liable for what's happening in your business. Another huge benefit of business credit is that it can be built really fast. I'm going to show you today how when you leave this webinar, you will literally be able to get your first credit accounts. You could probably get them before we're even done today. And once those report, which only takes 30 to 60 days, then you start moving very quickly through the process of getting store credit, fleet credit, Visa cards, MasterCards. If you can't immediately qualify for a loan, business credit's the fastest solution to be able to access money for your business. Even if you can get a loan, business credit approvals are pretty much in line with loans, what you may even run into when it comes to speed of being able to obtain. Anyone can see your business credit reports, prospects, competitors, potential buyers of your company, investors. Consumer credit, we're not used to this. We're used to people needing our permission to look at our personal credit, but with corporate credit, with business credit, anybody can look at it with only your business name. So you need to focus on what we're talking about today because everybody else could easily look in on your company to see what's going on. So you need to make sure that what they see is what you want them to see. So business credit gives you greater borrowing ability because you have both consumer and commercial credit. You know, you can't walk into Staples today, get a consumer credit card, walk into Staples tomorrow and get another one. They'll tell you you already have one. But you could walk into Staples today, get a consumer credit card, walk into Staples tomorrow and get a corporate credit card. So business credit more than doubles your borrowing ability because it gives you a credit profile that links to your EIN and a different from a credit profile linked to your social. So you have consumer credit and you have commercial credit, more than doubling your borrowing ability. And business credit's the only way you can get money for a business if you don't have a strength. If you don't have good credit or a guarantor with good credit or some kind of cash flow or collateral, getting a loan becomes near impossible with most sources. We'll talk about some different solutions. Business credit's the only way you can get money for a business. And that's why we help so many people, because a lot of people think they can't get money at a bank and they're right. And then maybe some of them can't even get money at an alternative lender. But with business credit, you can still get a $40,000 Visa card, a $50,000 fleet credit card, a $30,000 Apple, and 40 grand at Amazon. Well, let's be honest, if you had access to that kind of money, then you could buy pretty much anything you need to buy, even if you can't get a bank loan. And that's exactly why business credit's so beneficial, because you can get it regardless of your collateral, cash flow, or credit. It's the only kind of financing where that's possible. So with business credit, you can access loans, credit lines. You can basically fund your business using your profits to grow. And that's one of the hard things about running a business is you have to pay yourself. you have to pay to grow the business. Do you have to decide between both? No, you don't. There's a reason that Facebook and every one of the largest publicly and privately owned companies are as big as they are. They used OPM. They used other people's money to grow. So with business credit, you're able to access, credit cards, lines of credit, loans that help you get money to fund your business, so then you can use your profits to grow at a faster pace. So it just helps you grow quicker than what you would without it. And it also gives you a competitive advantage. If you're dealing with one company that has access to $250,000, which we're going to talk about today, and one company that has access to nothing, then obviously the one with $250 grows faster. We see this. All of the largest publicly and privately owned companies access some kind of seed capital or other sources of money that helps them get as big as they are. Well, you could self-fund your own business using corporate credit and using some of the financing options that we're going to talk about today. So business credit quality also determines if you'll get approved for a loan, how much you'll get approved for, and the terms you pay. A lot of people don't know this because in the consumer credit world, they have to have our permission to pull our credit reports. The Fair Credit Reporting Act refers to this as permissible purpose. So if somebody needs to pull your credit to make a lending decision, they have to ask for your permission. You have to give them a social. Not the same thing in the business world. With only your business name, a bank will and does pull your commercial credit report, and they will and do make lending decisions based on the quality of that commercial credit report. So whether or not you have business credit or not will determine if you get approved or denied for a loan, how much you'll get approved for, and the terms you'll pay. I'll show you this in just a minute. I'll show you actual shots of commercial credit reports where you can see that the credit bureaus actually tell lenders how much money they should give you, how your credit scores determine the terms you'll pay. And again, if you'll get approved or denied, we've seen $3-4 million revenue companies get denied for $10,000 limit credit cards because they have no commercial credit reporting, and they still have low scores because the commercial credit reporting agencies know they exist. So you need to, if you ever want to get money to grow, you have to focus on business credit because it determines if you're going to get it and the rates and terms you'll pay. You can easily be denied, as I mentioned, based on business credit quality, even if you have no business credit established. This is not something we're used to. In the consumer world, you have to have credit to have a credit profile, not in the business world. Experian and Equifax absolutely will populate credit reports and scores for you, even if they have what they call one piece of firmographic information or demographic information, i.e. your SIC. If they know your business exists and know what industry you're in, which is even on your annual reports with your Secretary of State, they will populate a credit report and immediately give you a failing score, even if you have no credit on the report. So one more reason that you really need to make sure that you're focusing on building business credit. So let's talk about some of these examples. So here's an example of a company that has a 96 credit score, and you can see right here, credit recommendation, $2,500. So you can see from Experian, they're telling you, hey, look, we're recommending this person for $2,500. Their score is good, which helps you get a better term. You can see the company was established in 2016. Here's what's interesting. This credit report happened with, as you can see here, only one trade payment. There's only one account reporting. Now, what's interesting about consumer credit or commercial credit reports is you don't ever see a creditor name. You only see a category, packaging, for example, and you see not even the high credit limit, or you don't see the limits, you only see the recent credit used. So this person has used less than $100 in credit from one packaging store, only one account, and that got him a 96 score out of 100. So that's an A+. That's the equivalent of an 820 consumer FICO score, and they obtained it with only one account reporting that they used less than $100 on. So this is what I'm going to teach you how to do today, how to go from 0 or a failing score to a very high score with even one account reporting. Now what happens, guys, is when you go online to apply for Staples and Home Depot, etc., then when they see more of these accounts and a good score, then their systems start automatically approving you. That's what I'm going to show you today, how to get automated approvals from using your established business credit. So this is what's really the key to getting you high limit accounts. And you can see here, somebody went from very low. They had a failing score. This person had a failing score and went up to this 93, 96 range over a very short period of time. And how is this possible? Well, this is possible because, again, that one reported account helped make that possible. So let's take a look at another example. Here's somebody that has a 24 score, and they've been open 2010, $2,900 in recommended credit. Here's somebody with a 35 score, okay, with only $1,400 in recommended recommended credit and being open for 4 years. Here's somebody with a 73 score. They've only been open for 2 years and they're being recommended for $15,000 in credit. Okay, so that being said, you know, it really makes you ask, how is this possible? And that's exactly what we're going to talk about. Where do you want to be? Do you want to be the one that's being recommended for $1,400 in credit, or do you want to be the one experienced recommended or $1,400 in credit open for 4 years, or do you want to be the one that's only been open for, you know, a year or 2 years and is being recommended for $16,000 in credit? Here's another one where a company has been open for 11 years and they're only recommended for $1,900. And again, this is funny. This is somebody that I actually had as a, she was a podcast host, and I pulled her credit live on the podcast. It really threw her off. When we got off, she asked to pull her husband's company, and here it was. He'd been open for 11 years and only recommended for $1,900. He didn't have bad credit, by the way. He had no credit, which was why his score was so low. And again, here's a company here being recommended for $21,000. So why I'm showing you this is, first of all, you can see that the bureaus directly tell lenders and credit issuers how much money to give you. And the scores also will determine the rates and terms that you'll pay. So all these people that think that time in business matters for something, it doesn't. Look at this example. It doesn't. This company's been open for 2 years and has been recommended for $16,000 in credit, while as this one's been recommended, this next one that I actually just showed you has been open for 11 years and is only recommended for $1,900 in credit. Okay, so what really matters is your business credit quality, and this is why it's so important. So another thing you should know is that every successful company in this country has got to be where they are because they have business credit. So here's an example of Facebook. You can see that they have 40 trade lines on there. So you can see that, again, even being a fairly new company, they have a lot of trade lines established. Here's Dell with 83 trade lines. Here's Microsoft with 131. They've been around since the 70s. We expect that. Think about 131 accounts on their business credit report, right? So Apple, 138, pretty similar. They've both been around about the same period of time. Pilot Flying J, 153. Publix, right here in my backyard in Lakeland, 171 trade lines. Walmart, one of the biggest, well, the biggest retailer in the world, has 513 trades. So a lot of people don't know this, but 80% of what Walmart sells, they buy using corporate credit. It's why they have so many trade lines. So what Walmart literally does is they go to Bounty, they use business credit to buy their paper towel from Bounty. They put their paper towel on the shelf, and then you come in and buy it. You give Walmart money. Walmart takes your money and uses it to pay off the credit they use to obtain the paper towel. That's how they do it. With over 80% of the stuff they sell, they buy on credit and resell it. Guys, that's pretty crazy. Walmart's the biggest retailer in the world, and 80% of what they sell, they buy on credit and use the money they get in payments to pay off the credit. It's why they've become the biggest retailer in the world, because they're good at OPM, using other people's money to grow. Okay, but here's the thing. Here's Mars Incorporated. They make Mars bars, and here's where things get interesting. Mars has 22 trade lines, as you can see right here. But here's a company that's a client of ours that in less than a year had 8 trade lines. So think about that. That's a third as many trade lines as Mars Incorporated when they've only been at it for less than a year. Here's another one that had 1 year. The company actually came through, and you'll see a testimonial later. The owner sold an old pickup truck and a plasma TV to get $1,200 to start the business, used business credit to fund the rest of it, and did between, I don't know, it was like 1.2 million their first year in business. And you can see they have 14 trade lines. Mars Incorporated only had 22. So they have 70% as much as one of the biggest companies that's out there on the privately owned side. So the reason I want to show you this is, first of all, a lot of people think you need to be big to get business credit. That's not the case. The reality is you can't get big without business credit. And that's why I want to show you this. Every one of the companies I shown was one of the biggest privately or publicly owned companies in this country. And then I showed you some small companies so you could see that even these guys are competing with some of the biggest companies out there because they know the formula. That's what it's about. Anybody can do this, even as a startup. It's a matter of knowing the formula that we're going to talk a little bit more about today. So we talked about why it's awesome. We talked about the results and all these other things. The question now becomes, how do you do this? How do you actually come in and get results? Well, these are the company at Success Tax Relief, and this is a real testimonial from them so you can kind of see what's possible. This is an exact quote. We went to our bank to get business line of credit, and they turned us down. which many of us can relate to, right? This is exactly what would happen if we walked into the bank. We got started with Credit Suite, set up our business credibly and our business credit, and built our business credit. And after the following the steps, we've now secured over 96,000 of business credit cards and just applied for the Platinum American Express and got approved instantly. Now we have 4 to 5 different companies call us every day trying to get us money, and that's a really good problem to have. We're excited, and if you don't have business credit yet, you should get involved with Credit Suite to have the same results. So the samples are very near and dear to our heart. They're not only a client, they're a partner of ours. So when they saw what was possible for them, they now offer business credit financing to their tax customers. And here's a living success story. They literally sold an old pickup truck and a plasma TV to get $1,200, got the business off the ground, knew they needed more money, turned to business credit, got nearly $100,000 in credit, got the Amex, funded the business, and the first year in business did $1.2 million. So it's what's possible if you have access to money to actually grow a business. But how do you do it? Well, the very first step in building business credit really comes down to business credibility. Credibility. You must set up your business credibly before you can even think about getting access to credit and financing. Okay, you have to set up, and this is the way I can best explain this. Think about it like this: when you go to apply for a credit card online, one of two things happens. You either get an instant approval, and in a lot of cases they tell you how much you're approved for, or the second thing is you get that little wheel turning, and then they tell you they'll contact you by mail in 7 to 10 days. What happens there? Well, the approval comes because the computer of the creditor automatically, the credit issuer, automatically goes through a checklist of things that you've entered on your application and determines if you'll qualify or you won't. If you don't, then they tell you it's going to be 7 to 10 days because they push it for a manual review. But in a lot of cases, if everything is in line, they give you an instant approval. Well, the question becomes, we know this is possible, we see it all the time. The question becomes, what's that computer searching for? What algorithm is that computer using to determine the instant approval or the push to manual underwriting? This is it. I'm going to tell you right now the formula that they're using, because when you understand the formula, you can meet the criteria before you apply, which gives you the best chance of getting the automated approvals. And it starts with setting up a corporation or an LLC. Look, you can build commercial credit with absolutely any kind of entity, but with a sole proprietorship and a partnership, you're always going to be personally liable for what happens in the business, always. So the problem with that is that you can't get corporate credit and separate your liability if you're always liable because you chose the wrong entity. One of the biggest mistakes people make at the beginning is choosing the wrong entity, and a corporation or LLC are the better entities because with these you are separate from the business. If somebody sues the business, they're not suing you personally. If you default on a credit card and they come after the business assets, they can't come after your personal assets. So corporation or LLC helps you separate the liability to have that true benefit that business credit provides. You also want to stay away from business names that indicate you're high risk. Okay, we're a perfect example. We have the word credit in our name. That makes it harder for us to get merchant accounts, makes it harder to get bank accounts, makes it harder for us to get automated approvals unless we have what we have, which is a really strong corporate credit profile behind us, backing us. So when you're especially just getting started and you have things that reflect that you're in adult entertainment or any kind of financial services, for example, real estate or mortgages or credit, any of those type of indicators in your name can immediately throw up a red flag when the computers are doing their automated search, and if you don't have enough compensating factors, can immediately get you denied. So you could be denied just because of your business name, which is why you want to focus on names that don't reflect you're in a high-risk industry. You want to get your free IN number from the IRS. There's a lot of companies that try to pose like they are a government office and charge you for an EIN, but it's completely free. You can go to irs.gov or Google, free EIN number and get your EIN number. Remember, your business credit's built under your EIN. A lot of people think it's built under your DUNS number, which it actually isn't. That's the reason you can still build business credit even if you don't get a DUNS number from D&B. And we'll talk a little bit more about how to get your DUNS for free in a little bit. So your EIN is what houses your corporate credit profile. So after you choose a business name from your Secretary of State, the next step you take is to get that EIN. It's necessary for your business bank account. It's necessary to build business credit. You also need to have proper licensing and continuity with online listings. Look, if you're a licensed plumber, you need to have a license. If you don't have a license on file, on record, that can get you denied. You also need to make sure that your listings online are congruent. So many people mess this up. You might change your business phone number, you might change your business address, but you need to make sure that Yahoo and Bing and Google all have the same information. Creditors and lenders' computers automatically scour the net, and what they do is they're basically looking to make sure if they can find your business online, and if they find your business online with a bunch of different information, Google has a different address and phone number than you find with Bing, that it's different than Yahoo, it's going to get you denied. This is one of the biggest reasons people get denied at the bank. It's because when a bank underwriter manually does this search, they want to search your name, find your website first, know your website clearly tells what you do, and they also want to be able to go find a bunch of other listings of your business on online sources. It shows that you're established, which is what they're looking for. Are you established? And they also want to make sure that if you're established, that all your information is the same, or they don't know if what they're looking at with one is different than another. If your company's ABC Corporation and they pull up Google ABC Corporation, and one ABC Corporation has a different address and another ABC Corporation has another address, they don't know which one is which. So you need to make sure that all your information online is continuous, that it's what you find in one source is what they find in another source. Okay, professional email address and website. Okay, you don't ever want to use a website or not have a website on an application, because again, credit issuers and lenders want to know that you have a website. It shows you're established. It shows you're credible. Nowadays, you really can't sell or do much of anything if you don't have some kind of website. So it establishes credibility even if you sell on Amazon. If you're coming in to get credit and financing, this is one of the searches that they look for. They also need to make sure you're using a real business address. You can't use Yahoo. You can't use Google. If you use those are personal email addresses. So it instantly looks like you're unestablished and not credible because you're using a personal email address. I don't know about you, but I don't even do business with people that use personal email addresses because it's sketchy. It just doesn't reflect that they're credible. This is exactly one of the searches that lenders and credit issuers use as well. And you also need to make sure you have a real physical business address. A lot of people get stuck here. You want to use, number one, a real physical business location if you can, and number two, if you can't, use a virtual address. There's a big difference between a P.O. box, a UPS address, and a virtual address. And here's why. Because all of these fall into a designation that says that these companies basically accept mail on the behalf of other people. And there's a whole internal system of tracking these addresses. Well, lenders and credit issuers do not like UPS and P.O. box addresses at all. If you are on that list, you will get denied in a lot of cases. Now, some sources still may approve you, but any source that has access to this list that's commonly shared with credit issuers and lenders and sees that you're using a P.O. box or UPS address will deny you. But here's what's interesting. Back in the 80s, the virtual address companies got together and fought the government and won. And what they won was to be separated in that designation and treated differently than P.O. boxes and UPS addresses. So because they've done this, then virtual addresses can work really well if you don't have a real physical business address. But you can't ever use a P.O. box address or UPS address. That will get you denied. You can't even get a DUNS number if you're using these addresses. Instead, use a home address at last resort. So the order of importance: use physical address if you can, use virtual address if you don't have a physical address. You can see our source if you go right to our website, creditsuite.com/virtual. That we update that all the time depending on who's the most credible source out there. Alliance we've worked with for years. They're very credible. And last case resort, use your home address. So if you use your home address, you need to know some creditors are going to deny you just because you're using a home address. Why? It makes you look unestablished. Don't get me wrong. I've run a very successful home business from my home, right? A lot of people do. I'm not putting you down and saying you're not credible because you are, but I am telling you that lenders and credit issuers use the same technology we use, and it automatically determines if you're using a home phone, a mobile phone, if you're using a real physical address or a PO box address or a home address. So the problem is, if you use a home address, if you use a UPS address, the people you're applying for know this and will automatically deny you in a lot of cases. Some might still approve you. And I talked to some people, and some people say, well, hey, look, I was able to get approved. Great, congratulations, you might. But that doesn't mean that you're going to get approved every time you try to get a loan and credit line or credit card. A lot of them will deny you just based on this criteria. And you want to use a business phone number. It needs to be a business phone. Do not use a mobile phone. Do not use a home phone. You will absolutely get denied. The minute, when I tell you these computers have an algorithm they search, this is one of the basic things they search. Just based on the format of your number, they immediately know if it's a mobile, home, or business. So you can't use a mobile or home or mobile home phone. And if you think about this, guys, doesn't this make sense? If you're applying for a credit card and you have no business credit established and you're in the beginning stages, your business is fairly new, well, wouldn't it be sketchy if somebody had no website, they're using a mobile phone, they're using their home address, they don't have any licensing, they're not listed online, none of this adds up. It just makes you look unestablished. And because you look unestablished, you immediately get a denial. But let's say you're 3 months into business. Let's say you're a startup. You're in a new business. And let's say you have a professional website that reflects what you do, a professional email address. You have a phone number that's a business phone number. You have a business address, whether it be a real physical address or a virtual address. Then all of a sudden, these computers are doing this internal check. You look credible, and they'll issue you an approval based on the credibility. You need to have a toll-free number. You need to have a fax number for that fax field, and you need to get your phone number listed with 411. You can't fake 411. You can't go to 411 and give them your information and have them list you. That's why creditors and lenders look at 411. You can't fake it. 411 has to either pick up your information online, or there's some shortcuts like List Yourself that you can use that's like $360 a year to list your number on 411 with you. You can't pay to do this and go to 411 direct, which is why lenders and credit issuers look at it, because if you're established, you should be established with 411. When you're in business 6 months, a year, 2 years, your business starts to get picked up in yellow pages everywhere. 411 picks this up, and it organically happens. But if you're trying to make it happen quick, then you want to consider a company like List Yourself. Regardless, you can't not be listed with 411. A lot of creditors, especially in the beginning part of building business credit, will do this search with you on the phone. Okay, and that's a funny thing. So I just went in the other day and got a Staples and an Office Depot credit card with no PG. And I don't like to fax applications. I like to have them approve me on the phone. So it's funny because whenever I do this, they put me on hold, check my 411, and then call the business to make sure the business is legitimate while I'm on phone. So I'm on the phone and getting emails from my team that they're calling to check on us. So this is the process that they do immediately while you're on the phone getting approved. Beyond verifying what I've told you about, they're also calling and verifying that your business is actually really in business. So once you've done these things, now you've set up your business credibly. And again, think about it, it's common sense. Now you have a business address and a business phone number. Now you have a business email address and a business address and a fax number. You're listed with 411. All the information that a credit issuer finds online is congruent. You've checked all the boxes. You look credible. And at this point, you can actually start to get initial credit. But before we talk about that, let me talk to you about the next step you should take, which is getting set up with the business credit reporting agencies. You want to take the step of getting set up with the business credit reporting agencies because you need to see if they have any information on you now. There's a big difference when you start building business credit. If you're going to get business credit and applying for it with no credit score at all, no profile, or if you have a 28, that's a bad score. Well, again, as I told you, they will populate a report even if they know you exist. So you need to know what you're working with here. Do they know you exist and have they given you a bad score, or do they not even know you exist yet? Well, it's really simple to do, and you can do a free search to be able to figure that out. You can even go to creditsuite.com/reports with an S. You can check D&B, Equifax, and Experian, do a real quick search with each to see if they know anything about you now. The next thing you want to do after you do that search to see if they know anything about you is you also want to go in and get your DUNS number with Dun & Bradstreet. Now, this is completely free to do. You can type in to Google free DUNS number. And don't get me wrong, Dun & Bradstreet will try to call and sell you their business credit builder, and I'll talk to you a little bit more about that a little bit later, what's involved with that. But it is 100% free to get your DUNS number. So you need to get your DUNS number set up because some credit issuers will use your DUNS number. And I found this very important in the early part of the business credit building process. I called creditors when I first started building business credit that turned me down, and then I said, well, that doesn't make any sense because I have established credit with Dun & Bradstreet. And they said, oh, what's your DUNS number? And I said, here's my DUNS number. And they immediately approved me. Once I did that one time with one creditor, I now give every single creditor that we apply with a DUNS number, even if they don't ask for it. So your DUNS number is very important. Literally for me, I can tell you 100% that it has determined for me, the first time I learned this the hard way, the difference between a denial and approval. Sir, you don't have enough established credit. You can still apply with a personal guarantee. That can't be. I have a profile with Dun & Bradstreet. Oh, what's your DUNS number? Here's my DUNS number. Oh, you're approved now. It's just a matter of having the right information. Okay, now I know this. Now every single time I give a DUNS number, even if I don't have, or they're not asking for it, because it makes you look more credible. It makes you look established, which is why it's important. You also want to fix inaccuracy. So any inaccuracies, let me get this thing off. This is showing up here on my thing. So any inaccuracies you have on your business credit report, you want to fix. Any derogatory items, because again, if you're trying to build good business credit on top of bad, it's much harder than if you're building it on top of nothing. So you want to make sure that you do that free search I told you about. Check Dun & Bradstreet, Equifax, Experian. See if you have credit established with any of them. And if you do, it makes sense to pull a business credit report. And a little bit later, I'll talk about how you can get your credit reports for ridiculously cheap, literally 90% cheaper than you get with the reporting agencies. So if you have derogatory items on there, you want to dispute them direct with the credit reporting agencies to get those items fixed. Business credit, fixing business credit, is a simpler process than what you'll ever find with consumer credit, but you want to do this before you start trying to get new credit. Speaking of getting new credit, that brings me to where we are now. After you've set up your business credit, well, you've done that free search to see if you're set up with the reporting agencies, you've got your DUNS number, and you've also fixed any or disputed any inaccuracies. Then with that being the case, the next thing you want to do is start getting initial credit. Okay, now there's a few different ways we're going to talk about to do this, but just like with consumer credit, you can't get credit for your business unless you have initial business credit profile and score established. Here it is, right? The catch-22. You can't get credit unless you have credit. You can't get money if you don't need money. Well, it comes like this. You're not going to walk into Staples with no consumer profile and score established and then give you a consumer credit card, because it won't happen. They will deny you. So when you go to check out with Target, Target says, hey, you could get 20% savings if you apply for our credit card. If you were 18, had no credit established, and you said, I'd like to apply, you would get denied because Target won't approve you with no credit established. Exactly the same thing in the business world. You could walk in to Staples or Apple or any of these places with no credit established, you get denied. But if you have an initial credit profile and score established, then you can easily get approved. And what's different with business credit than consumer credit is with D&B, it only takes 3 accounts reporting to be issued a score. With Equifax and Experian, it only takes 1 account reporting to get a score. With Equifax and Experian, you either need 1 account reporting or some kind of demographic information they have on file. So even 1 account reporting will get you a good score if you paid the bill as agreed. And then with the established profile and score, you can use to start getting all different kinds of fleet credit, cash credit, etc., as we'll talk about here in the future steps. So there's 3 ways to do this. There's actually 3 ways to build an initial credit profile and score for your business. Now the first way I already mentioned is to pay Dun & Bradstreet $1,500 for their Credit Builder program. So with D&B, they have a program called Credit Builder, and with their Credit Builder program, it's about $1,500 a year to get, and what they'll basically let you do is take creditors you already have and add them to your credit report. So let's say, for example, in my world, I actually use Infusionsoft. Infusionsoft is my CRM. Well, with Infusionsoft, I can actually take my payments that I pay to Infusionsoft, and then what I can do is I can then have those put on my D&B credit report, and it helps me build business credit. Okay, now the problem with this is that it only builds your D&B credit. So is that problematic? Well, think about that in the consumer world. What if you only ever built your TransUnion credit and you didn't build Experian and Equifax? It'd be all kinds of problems, right? Because if you ever looked at inquiries on your credit report, you see that people pull TransUnion, Equifax, and Experian. Some pull two, some people pull all three, some people only pull one. So having only one credit profile established with one reporting agency is just as problematic in the commercial space as it is the consumer space. So even if you spend the $1,500 here, you still have to take one of the other two options I'm going to give you, because you can't neglect your Experian and Equifax. Here's why. Most lenders look at Equifax. Most credit issuers look at Experian. So you need to build credit with all three so you have the best chance of getting lenders and of getting approved with lenders and also of getting approved with credit issuers. And most trades can't be added. If you look at Dun & Bradstreet, go to Credit Builder, go to the very bottom of their page in small print, they call it their glossary. Their glossary will tell you can't add credit cards, you can't add bank references, you can't add landlords, you can't add rent, you can't add utilities. If you think about all that, that's pretty much most of the things that you pay regularly on a business that you'd add. So I like D&B. I think they've got a great service, but their Credit Builder, you have to keep these things into consideration. Even if you use it, you still have to use Experian and Equifax, and you have to think, do you have credit that can be added, because most of it isn't going to be able to be added. Now there is another option if you have good personal credit or a guarantor that does, and I'll tell you, in my opinion, this is one of the best ways to actually build business credit if you could qualify. You have to have about a 680 credit score or higher to get approved, or somebody else that will sign as a guarantor that does. Maybe it's a family member, a friend, a colleague, etc., etc. And you can get up to 150 grand in unsecured, no doc, 0% credit lines for your business, even as a startup. This is one of the most popular funding programs that we see, and ultimately what you're getting is you can come in and get 3, 4, 5 plus accounts with this. They're 0% and they have full cash out capability. So these are 5 plus individual credit lines that report to the business credit reporting agencies, and they do require a personal guarantee. So again, I'm going to give you an option where none of this is needed. You can get approved regardless of personal credit. But if you do have personal credit, you can shortcut the process, because you can start building your business credit with Visa cards, MasterCards, cash credit cards, and you can get them at 0%. And you can take all the cash out at 0%. This is a crazy program. It's like a hybrid program. You get the 0% benefit of credit cards. You get to take all the cash out that you can only usually do on credit lines without paying 20%. So now you get both. You could take all the cash out, 150 grand out in cash if you wanted to, at 0%. It's really a crazy cool program if you have good credit or a guarantor that does. And if so, you can write down our number now, 877-600-2487, 877-600-2487, and we'll talk to you more. And the way that this program works is if you talk to our team, we'll ask you a few questions to verify that, yeah, you have the credit that's needed to qualify. We'll immediately send you over. You'll get a pre-approval in 1 to 2 hours, and you'll get actually your money, your credit lines, within 1 to 3 weeks. So it's a really cool program if you have good credit. And again, it puts 5 high-limit trade accounts on your credit report, which is cool. So then all of a sudden you come in and now you've got $10, $20, $30, $40,000 limit credit cards you're using to start your business credit profile, because these accounts we're talking about, a lot of them report to the business credit reporting agencies. So you get money and you build your business credit at the same time. It's a really, really, really awesome program. One of my favorites that I've ever actually dealt with. And here's an actual case study where you can see there's an approval for 13.5, an approval for 12. They got 61,400 in total financing. And again, they were a pretty new business. So to be able to get 60,000 plus in financing is pretty cool. And I had a friend of mine that did the same thing. We ended up getting in this program and equipment financing because they needed equipment and they needed money to pay payroll. So they used this money to pay payroll and the first payment of their equipment financing, and then they got equipment financing to finance the equipment, which gave them more usable credit. So a lot of benefits by having this much access to credit lines at the beginning. Now the third way to do this is you can get initial credit with what are called vendor accounts. These are also called trade vendors. So with trade vendors, you could basically get initial credit even if you don't have even if you don't have good personal credit. There's no personal credit check with this option. So what's nice about this option is you don't have to have the good personal credit that we just talked about the last option, and you don't have to spend $1,500 with D&B to get it either. So it might be a better alternative for you. Now, these are vendors that offer terms like net 30. Some are net 10, some are net 60, some are net 15, which means they're not revolving credit cards you could just use and put $1,000 on and then pay $50 a month till you pay it down. With this kind of credit, if you put $1,000 on, if you use $1,000 in credit, you have to pay off that $1,000 in credit within 30 days, for example. Okay, so, and you've got to find vendors that report to the business credit reporting agencies. So remember, the only purpose of this really is to use for business credit building. Now, admittingly, I will tell you that I used Quill for years. Okay, I love Quill. They were initial account that I used to start building business credit, and that's why I never got Staples and Home Depot. They just did good for me. But then I'm like, man, I need to get Staples and Office Depot. I know I can qualify, and it's just more trade. So I finally took the step of getting them, and I still use Quill. So the bottom line is you got to find vendors that do report and that will give you credit even when you have none now, that will do so regardless of personal credit quality, collateral, or cash flow. And 5 of these accounts must be reporting before you can get to the next step. So remember, I'm telling you step by step for a reason, because anybody that wants to skip ahead gets denied. If you try to skip ahead, you're going to get denied. And I had a buddy of mine got started with us as a client, and what he did, the first thing he did was lie to our advisors and said that he had 5 accounts reporting when he didn't, because he wanted to jump ahead. Well, he jumped ahead, and guess what happened? He got denied. And then he's like, your system doesn't work. Well, it's not our system. You can't skip steps. If you follow the steps, then you'll succeed. If you skip steps, you'll fail. It's as simple as that. That's why most people fail building business credit. They try to go get a Staples credit card or a Visa card from their bank when they don't have enough trade lines reporting. So contrary to popular belief, business credit is not based on your time in business. This is why you never want to buy a virtual address and spend that, or excuse me, you never want to buy a shelf corporation, because shelf corps are a waste of money. Time in business doesn't matter when it comes to obtaining commercial credit. It really doesn't. Yes, you'll look at an Office Depot or a Staples application, it'll say you need to be in business 3 years, but you don't. If you have enough established business credit, they will approve you no matter how long you've been in business. Business credit building, the real unpublished rule, the stuff they won't tell you, is that it's based on trade lines. It's based on how many accounts you have reporting. If you want to move to the next tier of credit, you just need to have the right amount of accounts reporting. So the options I've given you so far will help you get those 5. You can either use vendor credit, you can use D&B, you can use the unsecured program, but whatever you do, you've got to have 5 creditors in this step to move on to the next step of building business credit. Now, some starter vendors include Quill, that sells all kinds of office supplies. They'll approve you even as a startup, and they report to the business credit reporting agency. So does Uline. Remember, we saw that credit report earlier. That person went from like a 28 to a 96 score, and they only had 1 account that said packaging. More than likely, that was a Uline account. They sell all kinds of shipping supplies. You can even use a company like Monopolize Your Marketplace, and they sell marketing stuff, marketing CDs that anybody can use. So there's a lot of trade vendors, and they come and go. Seton is one I always recommended, but Seton no longer reports to D&B like they used to. So not only do you have to find the accounts, you have to know that they report when you apply. I have a lot of stuff on YouTube that says Seton is one of the ones to use. Seton just last month pulled D&B, they stopped reporting. So now there's a lot of people that order through Seton and wait months for them to report, to only find out that they're no longer reporting. So it's important that you find creditors that report to the business credit reporting agencies actively, and that also will give you credit even when you have none. Now, once you get those initial 5 accounts, then you can start getting revolving credit limit accounts with much higher limits than you'll ever find on the consumer credit side. Now, here's how this works. Look, credit is based on a core component called capacity. And capacity is, the capacity dictates how much credit you should be issued. So if you think about this, it makes a lot of sense. You don't ever need $10,000 in credit at Dell on a consumer credit card, ever. Why? Because you're never going to buy $10,000 worth of computers for your home. It's not going to happen, ever. So, but on the business side, you could easily spend more than $10,000 for computers because you have a big office to fill. This is why capacity for a business is so much greater than consumer credit. Why does this matter to you? It's really simple. With business credit and commercial credit, your limits per SBA are 10 to 100 times higher than what you're going to find with consumer credit. With consumer credit, you might only be used to limits of $1,000 or $2,000, but with consumer credit, the limits are substantially higher than that. The limits are easily $2,000, $5,000, $10,000, $20,000 than they are with consumer credit. And almost all major retail stores offer commercial credit. Dell, Apple, Staples, Office Depot, Amazon, Best Buy, Radio Shack, BP, almost every gas station, Walmart, Costco, Amazon, Sam's Club. So what's nice about this step is that if you got your vendor accounts and you gave them 30 to 60-day report, you're now getting $2 to $10 to $20,000 limit of these accounts. Well, if you think about what you actually need to fund your business, you need computers, you need furniture, you need supplies. You could buy it from all these creditors using revolving credit pretty quickly into the process, 30 to 60 days into the actual process. And here's a really crazy picture I just took today of my whiteboard. If you've ever watched me on Periscope and Facebook Live, you'll see that I actually have my whiteboard right here. Let me just shut down. I think I'm getting another one of these warnings here to shut down that thing at the bottom of the screen. These are real approvals that people get, and then they tell me what their approvals are on my live streams, and I pull business credit reports to verify that what they're saying is accurate. So these are real approvals. So if you want to know what's really possible, then let's look at the credit that people are really getting now. You know, $500, $1,500 at the beginning with Uline and Quill, $1,500 to $15,000 with Office Depot, Grainger $2,000, Seton $500, Apple. A lot of people get approved with Apple, $7,500, $10,000, $12,005. You can just see it goes on and on, from $8,000 to BP to $15,000 to Shell to $20,000 at Costco to Sears at $5,000 to $40,000 at Best Buy to AutoZone $2,000, $5,000, Pitney Bowes $16,000, Visa $11,000, Bank of America $11,000. Limits are much higher. You may never see a $40,000 consumer credit card, but it's very common in the business credit world for you to actually see just this. Okay, so this is another reason that you want to build business credit. And then when you have 10 accounts reporting, you then move to cash credit, Visa cards, MasterCards, etc. So I'm going to wrap this up, the business credit portion. So what we'll talk about, here's just so you guys can see actual real approvals. Here's one for $12,000 Visa card. Okay, here's another Visa for $10,000. Here's a Chase for $22,000. Here's another one for $15,000. Here's another one for $10,000. Here's another one for $8,000. Another one for $7,000. A credit card for $50,000 that looks like Amex. Here's another 10 from Bank of America, another 24 from Amex, another 50 from Amex. So this is the kind of real approvals you can get. These are real approvals from real customers. So you can see what's possible with commercial credit following those exact steps. And I want to talk a little bit about financing. Then I'm going to show you the fastest way to do what I'm talking about. I'm going to show you the fastest way to build business credit that will help you get everything we just talked about as well. And here's one, another testimonial from Eric, who's one of our clients. Hey everybody, my name is Eric. Been using this for about a year, and a lot of people will tell you how great it is, how amazing the customer service is. I just prefer to show you. Take a look, and this comes from a video, and he's showing his business credit report of 86 score. That's what they did for me. Look at the average national score. This thing really works, and it's telling him how far above average he is. So that's the steps of building business credit. And I'm going to talk a little bit. I'm going to have to pick up the pace because I'm definitely behind with getting business loans. And then I'm going to show you real quick the fastest way to be able to get both, the fastest way to be able to get consumer and to get business credit. So why do we even need to talk about the business loan aspect? Well, 1 out of 5 businesses are going to fail in the first 5 years. And within 15 years, 75% are going to fail. Okay, per the labor statistics. So per SBA, the 2 most common reasons for failure has to do with business owners that don't really know what they're doing and not having enough money to grow the business. Well, I can tell you None of us know what we're doing that run businesses. We really don't. We figure things out as we go oftentimes, and the more money we have on hand to be able to figure things out, the better off we're going to be. With money, you can afford to make more mistakes and fund your business instead of using your personal funds to do so. So where does money come from? Well, most business owners, it comes from friends and family. Most also use personal assets, and almost all use their own personal credit to grow. Per the Department of Revenue, only 1.2% of loans come from the big banks. So we've talked about this. Big banks are not the best place to go to get business credit. Most are coming from alternative lenders, and Bloomberg even says funding a small business, don't bother with the big banks. So if that's where you're going, that's probably why you're getting denied, and that makes sense, right? How many people have you ever met who've actually ever secured an SBA loan? Well, to get approved, you have to have good credit, personal side, business. You have to have money in the bank. You need to have tax returns and bank statements and business plans and background and collateral. It's just really difficult to get loans at a conventional bank, which is why it's not worth your time to even apply. But the great news is there's billions of dollars that are going to be lent this year to small business. It's just not coming from the big banks. So this is what I call a cash access problem. It's not that money's available. You can get credit lines right now. You can get loans right now. But if you think you're going to go to your bank, you're just going to the wrong place to actually get it. So where do you go to get money that your bank isn't going to tell you about? Other alternative solution. Well, cash flow financing is the most popular type of alternative funding today. And these are cash advances that, look at bank account management for approval. And as long as you have 10 grand a month or more in revenue, sometimes less than 5, you can get approved. They're very fast and easy way to actually get approved for money. Okay, now you've got to manage your bank account responsibly and have consistent deposits, but if you do this, about 12% of whatever your revenue is can be advanced to you in a loan. And I'll talk to you about a way to get approved for this if that makes sense. And a lot of lenders will approve you as low as a 500 FICO or even with no credit score requirements whatsoever. And here's a client that actually secured $30,000 in this example, but the reality is we actually helped him secure over $1 million, 1.2 million. He came to us about to shut down his business because he had a $400,000 tax lien, had bad credit, knew he couldn't get money. We helped him actually get the money he needed to pay off the tax lien. He actually ran for public office, and he opened up another office, and he secured over 1.2 million, in large part using cash flow financing to get there. Now, another type of financing that you might not know about is called collateral-based financing. And with this, you can get it as a startup, and you can also have bad credit and still be able to get approved, and rates are really low, like oftentimes less than 2%. So some types of collateral that can work is account receivables, purchase orders. Maybe you have stocks or bonds or 401k. Maybe you have inventory equipment, real estate. If you're an insurance agent, maybe you have a book of business. Maybe you have commercial vehicles. Any of those type of things can actually work for collateral-based financing, and borrow against that to get a lot of money. Matter of fact, they have a credit line that has no, if you just have account receivables, just people owe you money, you can get approved instantaneous, and I'll show you a little bit how to get that. You can get approved instantaneous as for an actual credit line with no personal credit check. So that being said, that kind of walks through an overview of the steps of building business credit and of getting business loans as well. Now, I've got some time here because I told you I was going to go about 90 minutes. So what I'd like to do is show you the fastest way to get this, the fastest way that we've proven to actually get credit and financing. So hopefully you guys are cool with that. If you're okay with that, just type in yes into the comments. If you want me to show you what we found to be the fastest and easiest way to get money for your business, even if you don't have the credit, the cash flow collateral. Okay, so I'm getting a lot of yeses. So let me take a jump here. A lot of yeses. Okay. So this is the way that we found to be the most successful. And I've given you the steps to get to the end goal. Now I'll show you the fastest and easiest way and the cheapest. This is actually cheaper to do it this way than even do it on your own, and I'll talk to you a little bit more about that in a minute. So this is a system that I developed to solve the problem, we developed. I shouldn't even say me because I have an entire development team that helps me. I just have some of the vision based on the pitfalls that I had, the failures I had in being able to obtain money, and we wanted the fastest and easiest way to be able to build business credit. So there's going to be two benefits here. One, if you're really interested in the fastest, easiest way, you're going to get to see how we do it for our customers customers really quickly. But even if you're not interested at all, then you can at least see how we do it with our customers, so you could duplicate this process on your own. So remember, the first step in building business credit is credibility. Remember, we talked about this. Well, with business credibility, what we're looking at here is a system we call the Business Finance Suite. And we designed this to be a step-by-step system that helps you through the exact process of building your business credit. You're not only working with the technology you see here, but our business advisors that work one-on-one with me go through and actually hold your hand and help you every step of the way, which is important, because if you get stuck like I did, and like, okay, why did they deny me? Well, did you give them your DUNS? I didn't give them my DUNS. Well, did they have? They didn't ask for it. Well, give it to them anyways. Okay, call them back. Here's my DUNS. You get approved. So again, business advisors are important when people get stuck. And when you build business credit, you're going to get stuck, because even though I'll tell you the rules, sometimes creditors are changing guidelines and the rules change. So the Finance Suite is a step-by-step system that walks you through the process of building business credit along with the help of actual business advisors. And you can see it's a customized experience. So we say here, do you have a business name? Well, if you have a business name, you can click yes and simply move on. But if you say no, then we're going to help you view restricted industries. So we're going to tell you all the industries that are restricted so you choose the right name. We're also going to help you search the Secretary of State records in your state to get your entity set up without paying LegalZoom and all those guys money to do so. Or maybe you want to pay LegalZoom, and click on resources and we'll give you a source that's the cheapest source out there that will help you. So again, you can fly through step one really quickly if your business is already set up. We walk through and provide education, training, and teach you exactly what you do need to know to set up your business address the right way. And the cool thing is you can come right down here and choose from English and choose Spanish, and it changes the entire thing now to Spanish. You can see one click. So maybe English is your primary language, maybe Spanish is, and the same as if you have customers, you can come in and easily choose between English and Spanish. So if you have a business address, you say yes and you move forward, boom. You move through really quickly. But if you say no, then we give you the teaching that you need to know, that it needs to be a virtual address, that it needs to be a physical address, not a home address, etc. We help you get your licensing. We help you get your bank account set up. Did you know the banks have their own credit score that they'll use to determine if you get a business loan? We teach you what that is, how it works. It's really easy to control. Getting your EIN number, setting up your website and email. We help you through every stage of setting up your business credibly. Now, I told you that I recommend 411 for phone number listing. Well, with 411, what we actually do is pay for that for you. So if you say you want to be listed with 411, yes, we spend the $360 a year. We actually obviously get a discount because we do a lot of volume, but we do literally pay the money for you every single month, which saves you nearly $400 every year because you get the business listed with 411. Why do we do this? It's really simple. It's speed. For us, it's speed. It's about getting the fastest results you can get, getting business credit as quickly as possible. Well, if you sit around and wait months to get listed with 411, that won't work. You need to get it fast. So by us listing you with 411, it just helps you get the fastest results. So we walk through all those credibility aspects. And again, I show you this because I want you to see, even if you're doing this on your own, we follow exactly what I'm preaching to you and tell you you should do is exactly the same thing that we do. Now, you also can come in and establish your business credit report. So we help you through that free search with Experian, with Equifax, and with Dun & Bradstreet to actually see if you have any credit set up with them now. And we also help you with D&B, with Experian, or with D&B to get your free DUNS number so you can actually get your DUNS number without being bullied into paying $1,500 a year. So it saves you the $1,500 because we teach you how to get around D&B saying that you have to pay them to activate your credit profile. So now you save that $1,500 as well. We help you do a free search to see if you're set up with the credit reporting agencies. And in step 4, we even help you fix inaccuracies if you do have any inaccurate items on your credit report. So to see if you have anything established and get your free DUNS number, which is a really, really, really big deal. Once you've done this, you follow those initial steps I talked to you about. And these are real creditors, and I know you probably wanted more vendors. I'll show you more vendors. So here's where we help you actually get set up with real vendors that report to the business credit reporting agencies. Now, each vendor, we list what they do, who they report to, the underwriting requirements for every source. Guys, this is unpublished. You can't go online and find out what it takes to get approved, but that's exactly why we put this out for you step by step. Because, for example, a lot of people don't know that if you don't pay $50 to Quill, it won't report. So if you think you're going to go to Quill and get credit and then you bought stuff and now you wait, you lost 3 months time trying to wait for them to report, but you didn't spend 50 bucks because you didn't know. There's so many little nuances with each creditor that by listing the underwriting requirements for every single source, you see how it makes it easy to get approved? Now we tell you who they report to. Why does this matter? It's simple. Because creditors, you actually are building credit based on how many accounts you have reporting, right? I told you that this was based on tiers, how many trade lines you have. Well, these are actually called payment experiences. A payment experience is the reporting of one credit item to one reporting agency. So if you got this account with Uline that reports to Experian A and D and B, by getting one account, you got 2 payment experiences. So by knowing this, it's faster for you to get the 5 you need to move on to the next step. Remember, we're all about speed, 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 speed. What's the fastest way to get you money? So by teaching you the underwriting guidelines for every requirement, giving you videos so you could actually see the underwriting approval process, to know exactly what it takes to get approved, how to apply, applying right from the system, knowing how many payment experiences you're going to get, you can find stuff that works for you, credit that you're going to use and need, and then you can also come through and you can get it faster because we make it all in one place and make it easy to do. We even have one more process where we gray out all these accounts if you don't have enough trade lines to qualify. So there's 3 safeguards. We help you get set up credibly in step 1. We also come in here and we gray out everything you can't qualify for, and we teach you the underwriting guidelines for every source. So guys, I can scroll up, down, I can show you all the sources because the sources don't matter. This is what matters, what their actual individual underwriting requirements are. This is stuff I don't publish and put out in space because it changes so often that when I tried to, people bite back because they watch the videos years later and it's all changed. But by changing this stuff in real time, removing seat when they no longer report, calling these creditors on an ongoing basis, it gives you the best chance of succeeding and doing so quickly. Now, once you get these initial accounts to report, and don't forget, in Finance My Business, you can also get that unsecured line that we talked about as well. Then the next step is to start monitoring business credit. And again, guys, this is where we talk about a lot of savings. If you go to D&B right now and pay them for credit monitoring, it's 150 bucks a month. If you pay Experian for credit monitoring, it's 50 bucks a month. We are the only company that has a white label relationship with NAV that lets you come in and actually view your business credit reports with D&B and Experian for only $27. So instead of spending 200 bucks a month, which is 2,100 a year, you only spend 300 a year or 27 bucks a month. That saves you 90%. And as you can see, you get your full scores. You get all the factors that affect your score with Experian and with D&B, your utilization, your derogatory items, everything you can pull up and actually see exactly what's affecting your credit scores. You can actually pull up your real physical business credit reports, your business information, the factors that are influencing your score, summary data of days beyond terms, trade lines, judgments, tax liens, and then UCC filings, and then you can see all your actual accounts. You can see your payment history. You can see all the stuff you see on your business credit reports, but saving $170 a month. Guys, look, business credit is based on how many trade lines you have. You have to have credit monitoring or you can't build business credit. So the minute now all of a sudden you're 400 bucks a year into getting list yourself. You paid D&B 1,500 bucks. Now you're spending, or actually that's included in the 200 bucks a month. You're spending 200 bucks a month for monitoring. It adds up. But by getting it for 27 bucks, you get everything you need here with Experian and with D&B. Same thing. Here's an overview of your score, what your score means, factors that affect your score, so you can see derogatory items and company information, etc. And then you're still getting all that same report data that you get with D&B, and you even get alerts that will notify you when things change. So when those 5 trade lines show up, you're going to be alerted to know that those trade lines showed up. So again, you're able to access those credit monitoring reports with D&B and with Experian. Okay, and we also give you, we also teach you how to read these reports. reports. A lot of people don't know your D&B report has 5 credit scores. Well, if you don't know that, then you're never going to know what those scores are, how those scores work, and what those scores mean. So by coming through and reviewing your report data with you, then we teach you what's on the reports. We teach you how to manage your credit reports and scores so you have the best results. We also talked about fixing inaccuracies and the importance of that. We help you right through the system do that as well. So we help you with disputing items. A lot of stuff gets mixed matched into business credit reports because somebody doesn't even need your EIN to pull your report. All they need is your address and business name. So if any other businesses out there have a similar name or address, it could be mismatched and put on your credit report. Well, through the Finance Suite, we actually help you get your credit reports updated with all 3 reporting agencies. We help you basically fix your business credit if you have any kind of damaged business credit. Now, once you have those 5 accounts reporting, now you start moving into a lot of this credit that we talked about, right? You start moving in and start getting all this other credit from Staples and Lowe's and Home Depot. But here's the question. How many trade lines does Staples need to actually get approved? How many trade lines do you actually need to be able to get approved for Amazon? Well, you can see we gray out everything that you might not qualify for, okay? And I intentionally did this so you could see how you can tell which sources you have. And we tell you how many trade lines you need to get approved for each source. So as you navigate through, you can actually come in and know how many trade lines you know to get each source. I can tell you you need 5 accounts reporting to start getting store credit, but do you need 6 or 8 to get a Staples card? Do you need 5 or 7 to get an Amazon card? Do you need 6 or 9 to get a Best Buy? Well, if you don't have a solution like this, you're only going to know by going in and applying to try to figure it out. But by us telling you how many trade lines you need to get to each level, you can see the kind of credit you can get. Walmart, Amazon, Home Depot, Sears, BP, Texaco, Fleet credit cards. Now, Fleet credit cards are used for fuel, for gas, for fuel, for auto repairs, for auto maintenance, and all those are available here. We even actually have auto financing as well. So not only there's several different layers of corporate credit you can get. You can get store credit, Staples, Amazon, Best Buy, Walmart, Sunoco, Chevron, almost every major retail store, right? You can also come in and get fleet credit. So let me click here and I'll show you what that looks like. You can also get, again, the auto vehicle financing for repairs, for maintenance, for all those type of things that have to do with vehicles. We're really big if you're a truck driver, an over-the-road truck driver dealing with a commercial fleet of vehicles. You can also get auto vehicle financing. So you can actually get cars in your name without a personal guarantee and without a personal credit check as well. And you can get Visa cards, MasterCards, all of this. Remember, none of this requires a personal guarantee. None of it requires personal credit check. All of it has details of where the accounts actually report, what the underwriting requirements are, so you can just see how streamlined and simplified it is. We've taken all the places where most people fail out of the equation so you can actually just come in and succeed. And you can also get all types of business loans and credit lines through here too as well. So unsecured financing with $150,000 even as a startup with a guarantor. Collateral-based financing we talked about. If you have commercial real estate or equipment or 401ks or security, you can get private money financing, something we now call a 90-10 program. Even as a startup, if you put 10% into an escrow account, even without great credit, we can get you up to $365,000 loan. Okay, we literally have people funding $17 and $32 million loans through this program, as well as small loans. Credit lines that you can get even as a startup with no personal credit check whatsoever, you're able to come through and get. Revenue financing, all legitimate types of financing are built in here as well. So now you can get commercial credit, you can get all kinds of loans and credit lines, and you're assisted step by step with our business advisors that help you every step of the way with building business credit, and with our finance officers that work with you for 5 years. If you think about it, if you want a loan right now, who would you call? Well, in our world, you call your finance officer. We map out a finance blueprint and what you can get now, what the plan is to get you more money. They go to work. They find all the financing you can get, bring it to you. They negotiate terms. They do all the legwork to get you financing so you can make it, you can focus on growing the business while somebody else is going to work to get you credit lines, to get you unsecured financing, to get you loans, to get you all the other things that you need. So look, the Finance Suite ultimately is the ultimate solution you're looking for if you're trying to get business credit financing, because you're probably watching this webinar on a computer, phone, or tablet because you want the easiest and fastest way to get money and credit to grow. You probably already have struggled to get the money and credit you need. Okay, you probably haven't found a simple solution, or you already be growing the business instead of focusing on trying to get money to grow the business. So why this might work for you trying to do it on your own? Well, one that I haven't even got to is it's cheaper to work with us than even do it on your own, as you're about to see, because we save you $411. You don't need to pay for D&B. You save $2,100 a year on credit monitoring because we do all of these things where you don't have to pay to do them. Then it saves you more than you'd even spend to work with us to begin with. But for one, you get business credit for your business that's not linked to your social through every legitimate source that's out there, every vendor we put in there, every revolving source we put in there. We constantly add more and more sources to give you access to more and more credit. And you get access to funding. You get commercial credit and you get business loans and credit lines, and you could do so both in English or in Spanish. And you also meet the credibility requirements before you apply, as we talked about, the EIN, the address and phone number, the 411 listing, the licensing, setting up your bank account, your merchant account, setting up your business name correctly. Think of it like this. Wouldn't it help to have somebody hold your hand and help you through this entire process, from determining your business name to getting your EIN for free to setting up your business credibly to getting credit? I mean, our whole mission is just designed to help you set up your business in a way the fastest as possible to get money. You get set up with all 3 reporting agencies. We help you get your free DUNS number with D&B without getting conned by them into paying $1,500 if you don't want to pay the money. I didn't show you this, but you get free Experian business access where you can actually, and I'll show you when I get to the question and answer, you can actually pull your Experian Smart Business Report or Smart Business data for free. You don't even have to pay any extra money. If you don't want to pay $27 for monitoring, you can actually look at what's on your Experian report and see how many trade lines you have without paying for it. And I'll show you that in just a minute. And you can fix inaccuracies with all 3 reporting agencies as well. You get the largest supply of starter vendors, okay, to start your business credit building with all 3 reporting agencies. You get the largest selection of store credit, all with underwriting guidelines, so you know exactly who they report to, how many payment experiences you get, and exactly that you're going to get approved before you apply. You get Visa cards and MasterCards cash credit, which is one of the hardest types of commercial credit to get. Fleet credit cards used for auto vehicle repairs, maintenance, fuel. You get auto vehicle financing without a personal guarantee and without a personal credit check as well. Okay, and you're also getting all the financing, the cash flow financing, the asset collateral-based options, even including that new credit line that's not consumer credit based. You get that 0% unsecured financing we talked about as well, private money, alternative SBA loans, venture capital. You never, ever, ever, ever need to look for money again, because our finance officers help you. We deal with all legitimate types of collateral, unlike most lenders that only deal with 1 or 2. So that's why when you need money, you just say, hey man, I need money. And they say, okay, let me ask you some questions. Okay, here's what I think you can qualify for. I like those 2 programs. Tell me more. Here's how these programs work. Here's the rates. Here's the terms. Here's about how much money I think you can get. I like that. Get me those 2. Here's what I need. I need these 3 pieces of documentation. Can you get them? Yes. My processor will follow up with you in 2 days. This is exactly what the process is like. They will follow up in 2 days to see if you have them. Boom, here's my items. We just got this submitted to the bank. We got it denied by the first bank. We went ahead, got an exception, and got it approved. Here's the terms. We handle all of that financing for you with all of these financing programs, even that 90-10 program I mentioned, where even with 10% down as a startup into a secured and insured escrow account, you can get high-level loans. Okay, and with our partner program, you can offer both as a product and service as well. Okay, so you get the training, you get contracts and sales scripts and seminars and an actual website. You can go to University of Business Credit right now and see the actual website that you get. You get press releases and PowerPoints, 10 ebooks, and 12 months emails and social media content, videos and webinars. Look, everything you need to run a business, we basically give you in a back office that makes it really easy, and I'll show you this here in a minute too as well, to be able to come in and actually run your own business credit building business. And here it is. So if you look at partner resources, we have a partner step-by-step training that walks you through everything you need to know to actually be successful offering business credit, step-by-step with short videos that teaches you how to sell and how to close and how to do presentations and everything you need to know to sell business credit. We give you a whole partner resources library, and in this resources library you have everything: marketing ebooks and flyers and emails, and I mean the most professional of everything. So let's just look at ebooks here for example and take a look just so you can actually see it. Let me turn off my sales funnel, really simple to do. And you come into marketing ebooks. You also are getting ongoing training as well. Okay, so for example, I do a training webinar, which is why I have to be out here at 3 today, just for our partners where they learn even more information. And you can see here that this is one of the guides that's all completely customizable in your name. So it's all professionally done. It would cost you hundreds of hours and a lot of money to come up with all the resources that we give you to basically you have your entire business. You can add clients here. You can manage your clients, turn on and off their login credentials. You can see all the information that they've entered along the way. You can add sales reps and manage sales reps. You get paid on funding deals you submit, so you can track your funding commissions here as well. You can come in and take your own account, add your own logo to come in, so you can actually put this as white label with your own branding and upload your own logo. So everything you need to run your own successful business, you're getting as well if you decide to go with our partner program. Okay, and again, you're getting 10 articles, Spanish marketing. We have a whole section of just Spanish marketing materials, finance training, finance videos, flyers, our Jumpstart program where we help you close the sale. You get a customer on the phone. We actually get on the phone with you and set up a conference call, and we do the closing for you to help you do it. The client dashboard, again, to manage customers, direct funding to send customers in to get financing without them paying anything first. So look, I don't know if this makes sense for you or not. If it does, then again, it's cheaper to work with us than even think about trying to do this on your own. And it's also the easiest and fastest way you're going to get commercial credit and loans. So, and if you want, you also get the ability to come in and offer both business credit and financing as a service. So, look, if you're getting started as part of this webinar, this is what we're doing. If you look on our website, you can go to creditsuite.com. You can look at pricing at the top and see that the payments on our top program is over $6,000. If you're wanting to get started with us, we'll work with you on payments. You can go right to our website, and I'm going to give you a special link where you can get 7 payments of $497. And even with the first payment, we get you access to everything. And if you say, that's too much money, Ty, no problem. We'll work with you on payments. If you get in touch with us and talk to our team will ask you what your budget is, and we'll work with you. So even if you say $497 isn't affordable, and normally it's $597 a month, by the way, then we'll work with you to make sure that it is affordable. And you also get a discount if you're doing one pay of only $24.97. And again, our top program is $6,000. For the program you're getting here, we do not discount anymore. We used to offer sales from time to time, or all the time. We used to offer discounting. We don't. It's been shut down. Our promo codes, we killed them all. We took all of our back pages with specials that we've offered through the years. It's gone, and we just raised all of our prices as of the beginning part of this month. Everything is $500 to $1,000 more than it was. It's simple supply and demand, guys. This is the only thing out there that exists like it is. So what we did was we don't give discounts. We control the market, right? I mean, we don't have anything else like this that exists. But with this, you're actually able to break it down into 7 payments of $497 or 1 payment of $24.97. And again, if that doesn't make sense, we'll work with you on payments. It doesn't matter. If you really want to build your business credit, if you're serious about building business credit, you're still going to have to pay for credit monitoring. You're still going to have to pay for 411. You're still going to have to find out who out there can help you get loans and try to struggle through that process. If you know you need 5 accounts, you have to find the 5. You need to know which ones to apply for in which order. So what I like to say is that we literally take 3 to 5 years of business credit building, and we just condense it down into 3 to 5 months. With us, you get vendor credit immediately. You get store credit within about 60 days. You're getting fleet credit and cash credit in about 90 days to 120 days. And you're getting auto vehicle financing shortly thereafter. So in even 4 months or less, you made it all the way from beginning to end in the process and got a ton of money along the way, as well as access to financing, which makes a lot of sense. And again, this is only valid through this webinar. If you go to the page, creditsuite.com/webinar special, which I'll show you in a minute, you'll even see there's a countdown clock there. So you get access to everything with your first payment. So even if you pay for one payment, we still give you access to everything. The partner program, if you're enrolling for the VIP package, you're getting access to the business credit builder. Our advisors will call you 5 times in the first 5 days. They're not just there to answer questions. It's not customer support, guys. They call you preemptively and help coach you through the process. What we found is that people need motivation. If you don't have somebody that calls and says, "Where are you?" and "Now, where do you want to be?" "Well, I'm stuck here." "Well, let me help you. Here's the solution." "Okay, I'll call back in 3 days. This is what I want you to do from now to then, and I'll get back with you." They'll sit on the phone with you while you set up your business entity, while you set up your business EIN. Okay, so we give you everything, even with your first payment, which shifts the risk to us. We're that sure you're going to love it, right? I mean, if we didn't know you were going to love it, we wouldn't give you access to everything. We'd make you pay several payments. But with your first payment, we give you access to everything because we know once you see it and experience the process and work with our advisors, then you'll be able to have the most success. And by the way, our advisors are the people I go to when I don't know the answers. And it often comes up. I get confused with address stuff, virtual address versus home address. People ask me, "Hey, why can you not use a virtual address to get a DUNS number?" I gave the wrong answer. I check with our advising team. They give me the right answer. Now you'll hear in my videos, my newest ones, that I changed the answer because my advising team is the one that teaches me these things, and they're the same ones that you're working with. creditsuite.com/webinar special. And again, you will see the countdown clock when you're there. Once you complete the order, you immediately get login access, and then you can get access to your own finance suite. You're off to the races. Our business advisors will typically call you within 1 to 2 hours. They're available through chat, through email, and phone. They will call you. They will email you. They will be reaching out to you as well as available for you to reach out to them. And wait, we've still got a few other bonuses I wanted to throw in as part of this as well. The first is a 30-minute initial consultation call with the advising team. They're going to call you, and you can ask them any questions you have, spend time with them, have them help you with any process that you want help with initially. We're getting you access to that DMB. NAV is not available. That credit monitoring integration is powered by NAV. It is not available to all of our clients. We're getting you access to that so you actually save the $2,500 a year that you're going to spend and only get it for $27 a month. We're going to give you a free business valuation. Do you know how much your business is worth? Do you know the things you need to do now to make your business worth more money? We've got a 29-page report from BizEquity that you'll actually get access to that will tell you how much your business is worth, and that will actually walk through what you need to do to make sure that it's worth the most amount of money. It's worth about $600. And we're also giving you a ready-to-publish book. If you've heard before that you need to be credible, and a way to be credible is to write a book, but you don't have time, I took care of that for you. I'm going to give you access to my books that I actually have on Amazon that are done in a way where you basically put your bio, your title on it, make it your own, and you become a self-published author immediately. So this gives you instant credibility, whatever industry you're in. You know how much your business is worth without spending, literally could be $8,000 depending on the source to find out. You're getting the credit monitoring, and you're also getting that 30-minute initial consultation. And we're also giving you an unconditional guarantee. If you feel that what you paid for isn't worth every penny, that you won't be able to make the money back as a part of our partner program, then you can cancel anytime within 30 days. Receive 100% of your money back. Work with our team. Work with our technology. Get all you can get out of it. If you don't want to stay after 30 days, then you're not really in it to win it. And we only want people that are in it to win it, because our clients are the ones that go from 50,000 in revenue to the 500,000 and million plus and high-level businesses, because again, We work with people that are serious about building their business. And if you're serious about building business, you know it takes money to do so. So hey, look, make the first payment, work with us, and no problem. We'll give you access to everything. We'll give you a guarantee where in 30 days, if you want your money back, we'll give you 100% of your money back as well. So you really have nothing to lose. You get full access with even one payment, and we guarantee that for any reason you're not happy within 30 days, you'll get 100% of your money back. So to recap, 24/7 access to the finance suite, concierge service with the business advisors, free DUNS number and D&B credit activation, which saves you the $1,500 from them, the free Experian Smart Business access to see what's on your Experian report without paying, which saves you $600, the largest supply of vendor credit, the massive selection of revolving store credit as well. You're getting the $150,000 in unsecured financing if you have the good credit. You're getting finance officer support for any time that you need it. Free 411 listing, okay, for $360 annually. You don't have to pay. We pay it for you. Cash credit sources as well. We help you fix your business credit as well. Fleet credit cards with no personal guarantee, no personal credit. Auto vehicle financing in your business name, no PG. Credit monitoring from Experian or from our NAV integration for $27 a month, which saves you a ton of money from paying for it. Cash flow, collateral-based financing with rates under 2%. You no longer need to work for money and look for money again. We do it for you. And you get in the 30-minute consult call, that NAV integration that we just talked about, the free business valuation to see how much your business is worth, 29-page report to see what you can do to increase the value, and ready to publish book as well. And don't forget that you're getting our guarantee, where if for any reason you want to cancel in 30 days, you get your money back. So in the end, you get a ton of stuff, not to mention that I didn't even go through all the extra stuff that you get with our partner program if you come in with our partner program. And as part of this webinar special, you're doing something that you're not going to find us doing out there. We're only going to do about 2 sales per year now, and the only other discount you're going to find is here on the webinar, where you're getting a $500 discount. If you go to our page, you're saving about 20% when you enroll as part of this, and I'm giving you those bonuses where if you add the bonuses up, it's worth, I think it's like $1,500 to $2,000 in bonuses only as part of this webinar as well. If you go to webinar special, you'll see the countdown clock, which counts down to midnight Friday. So if you have questions, we don't expect you to just listen to what I had to say here and get started. Give us a ring. Okay, send us an email, and I'm going to get to your questions right now to answer as many as I can before my next webinar at 3. And again, if you're a partner with us, then you're on that webinar with me at 3 o'clock. So there's our number, 877-600-2487, info@creditsuite.com, 877-600-2487, info@creditsuite.com. Look, for those of you here, I give you a lot of free information. I give you a lot of free information, and you can use it, and you're going to be successful. But let's be honest, you're going to have a lot of questions along the way. How do I know? Because our YouTube channel and our Facebook, the questions just roll in of people that get stuck. You're not going to get stuck. You're going to have a team that I even work with that helps me when I get stuck, help you every step of the way. You don't need to find somebody to work with financing anymore. They help you with all aspects of financing. So you get the simplest and fastest and easiest way to basically get money to grow, through business credit and through loans. So I'm looking at about 20 minutes, and I want to make sure that I get to every single question that was asked, which I'm going to try to do here. So let me go ahead and go. I know some people, if you use a Google Voice number, can you list with 411? Google Voice is not accepted. Using a Google Voice number alone will get you denied with a lot of creditors. I have no clue why, none. But I can tell you it does. And again, that's one of the little quirks of trying to build business credit on your own that you might not know of. Any other number, yeah, you could list a voice over IP like a Ring Central number, but for some reason, Google Voice is not a good option. I'm having trouble with connection. I know even if you filed for bankruptcy, yes. Remember, business credit can be built regardless of personal credit quality because there's no personal credit check. So a guarantee would not, or a bankruptcy would not prevent you from actually getting approved. does this affect the protection of personal assets by the LLC structure? That's a better question for an attorney or accountant, and I know it looks like that Victor had already left anyway, so I'm not going to spend a bunch of time on that question. I have 5 accounts reporting, also have Amazon credit card. I tried to apply for Office Depot and Staples and got denied. Not sure what happened. Look, there's too many. This is the problem, right? And this is exactly why working with us makes a big difference, because now you're stuck and you don't know what to do. And the reality is I don't know what to tell you because there's too many questions that would have to be asked to be able to find out. For example, are those reporting? Did you verify that you really do have the 5 accounts reporting? If so, which reporting agencies are they reporting with? Are they reporting with the ones that Office Depot actually uses and Staples uses? Did you give Office and Depot and Staples your actual DUNS number when you applied? These are all things that you have to, that really it's almost a Q&A one-on-one with you to really know if that is going to, or if you have what's needed as well. So again, looks like Francie left, so I'm not going to spend a bunch of time on that. Can you send the steps in an email? How to write down all the steps, Ruben? No, I'm not going to send you a breakdown of the steps through a one-on-one email. I did the webinar to map out the steps, but what I will do is tell you that if you go to youtube.com/credit suite, we have some videos there that will help you map out the steps so you can kind of get a better understanding of those as well. And a lot of people said yes, they wanted to see that. Okay, so is there a specific amount of trade lines you need on your personal credit to get credit, or will a good credit score do? They don't need a specific amount of trade lines to get the $150,000 in unsecured program. And just so you know, guys, if you want to get money to pay for getting started with us and you have the good credit or guarantor, then give us a ring, 877-600-2487. We will help you get approved for that program and even get the money. And what we like to tell people is we'll help you get the money you can get now, and then we'll also help you come through and get even more money without a personal guarantee and without a personal credit check. The number of trade lines you have doesn't matter. Ramon, what does matter is, do you have either a mortgage or at least one revolving account that's been open 6 months with a $2,000 limit? If you have some depth of credit, either a mortgage or one revolving account with a $2,000 limit, you should be able to get approved. Okay. This allows you to resell. Scott, yes. Our partner program completely allows you to resell business credit in your business name. So ultimately what you're doing is you're taking what happens is you basically have a system that you could resell to customers. This is your back office though. Your system you sold to customers wouldn't have partner resources or wouldn't have commissions or sales reps. Yours will. Theirs won't. And then you could basically sell business credit using our technology. We handle the servicing. We provide the technology. The reason you don't see any logo up here is because I haven't entered a logo. You put your logo, your branding. Our team introduces themselves as your team. So it's completely white label. It puts you in the business of offering business credit and financing without actually having to know all the stuff that needs to know. If you're nervous about getting out there and getting started, that's why we have a simple step-by-step program. The partner training program teaches you what you need to know to be successful. We even have sales rep training. So you can input sales reps and have sales reps get trained by us. And then when you get customers, we even help you close the customers. So you literally can have your own business credit and financing business. And on the wholesale side, you're buying each finance suite from us for $500 to $700, depending on how much you sell it for, and you're selling it for about $2,500 to $3,500 on the retail side. So the margins are fantastic. You're making about $2,000 in profit on every single one that you sell. We do the servicing, we provide the technology, and what you do is make the sale, and we do the rest. That's how our partner program works. And again, if you'd like, and again, I don't have time to go through all the different sections of this, the client dashboard, managing customers, all the stuff that comes with it, but our team can walk you through that stuff as well. So yes, that absolutely is something you can do. You can resell it. If you PG, does that put an inquiry on your business consumer FICO? Yeah, usually, anytime you give them your social, Brett, great question, then they're going to put an inquiry on your credit report. So if you PG like those 5 cards, the $150,000 unsecured program, we can help qualify you without any inquiry. We do a soft pull. pull. And we'll tell you, hey, look, Brett, you can get about 50 to 70,000 with this program in 0% cards if you want. You say, okay, I'm cool. I want 50 to 70. Move forward. You sign the online e-signature docs. Then we go to actually physically get you the credit. I say we, but it's not we. It's our finance source, one of our finance sources on this. When they go to get you the credit, then the inquiries are on there. So the inquiries aren't on there for you to find out how much you can get approved for, but when you actually go to apply for that, they are. And anytime you apply for a credit card or loan, it will be as well. Does this work with new LLCs, purchasing, current turnkey, real estate? Aaron, bingo. Real estate is our #1 and #3 industry that we help. Both real estate agents and real estate investors account for 2 of the top 3 industries we help. Truckers are also pretty high up there, as well as credit repair and many other industries as well. Here's the reason why. Because when you're in real estate, you are flipping high risk. It is hard to get money. You know that. Banks will not give you money. We've got private investors that will give you money for real estate. We've got a house for seller program, which is just for people that flip real estate. And then also you're able to come in and get the $150,000 in unsecured financing to buy real estate. You're able to get all the financing you need to flip it, right? The Home Depot, the Lowe's, the Labor Ready, all the stuff you need to buy the supplies to flip the home. And then you're also able to come in and get high limit Visa cards, MasterCards as well. So we basically get you the money you need to fund the business, and all that I just told you, you can get as a startup, except for the house for seller program. You have to have some established track record. And real estate investing, yes, as I just mentioned, is one of our most popular type of industries. If you have a few businesses, do you do the same format for each or go under one LLC? Well, it's up to you. I see both. I see many LLCs or companies under one umbrella, and then I see people start a bunch of different businesses. If it were me, I'd put them all under one umbrella and build credit for the umbrella, because it just doesn't make sense for you to go through the steps for each individual entity. Your limits get so high so fast with commercial credit that you just don't need it. I mean, you're not going to need more than $40,000, $50,000 individual limits, which is what you're going to end up getting. So that would be my best advice. What do you put as a trade name when forming an entity to build credit? Well, that's something our advisors will help you with. I can't help you pick a business name, right? There's a million names you could choose, but you don't want to go with Business Credit Builder, for example, which is the name of our Business Credit Builder. You'd want to go with, Business Consultants. Well, that's general. Business Consultants is going to help you get a lot more automated money than Business Credit Builder would be able to get you, for example. Okay, can you explain 5 accounting report? Do I need 5 accounts reporting just to D&B? You need 5 payment experiences across all 3. So again, if 1 account reports to D&B and Experian, it counts as 2 payment experiences. So you need 5 accounts reporting, or 5 experiences across all 3. So if you get 1 account that reports to D&B and Experian, and 3 other accounts, 1 that reports to D&B, 1 that reports to Equifax and Experian, you'd be good. But again, this is why it helps to know the source that you want to apply for, which reporting agency they're looking at, or which one they report to, because then that helps you kind of get credit with the reporting agencies that are the most of the sources you're going to be using or pulling. But that is the answer, is 5 accounts reporting across all reporting agencies. When you sign up as a partner, can you offer just the financing without signing up to build business credit with your prospects? Yes, you can. We call that our direct funding program. And with our direct funding program, you could basically submit people. So if I go to add clients, I have 3 options. I have a do-it-yourself business credit builder, which is getting ready to roll out this fall. Okay, then I have my regular business credit builder, which is the step-by-step I showed you. Then you can add customers just for funding. So you could bring customers in just to get money, and then you can earn commissions on that funding. It might be $200, $500, if it's a small amount of money they're getting. It could be, we've seen $130,000 commission because the person got millions in funding. So you could bring people in just to get funding. A lot of people bring money in to get financing for them to buy the business credit builder from you. You absolutely can do that. Yes, Trisha, good question. My office phone is through Wi-Fi and my cell phone company. It's an actual office desk style phone. Does that work? It should, as long as it's not a cell phone. Yes, online voice over IPs or VoIPs are okay. I have business experience report of 73. Can I apply for credit? Again, what this webinar should teach you, Els, is that your score of 73 is meaningless. Your score just reflects how you pay your bills. It just says you pay your bills a little late. It doesn't mean too late, but 73 is okay. What matters is how many trade lines you have and what's your next step. What tier of credit are you going to apply for? So that's what makes a difference. It's not the score, it's how many accounts you actually have reporting that matters. Will this program be good to open a cake decorating store? First of all, that's awesome. I love cakes, and I would love for you to decorate a cake for me, for the record, like for my daughter's 7th birthday next year. It would be awesome, so don't forget about me. And secondly, yes, what I like to say is that if you're starting a business, first of all, think about how much money you would need to do so. What do you need to do this? Do you need rent? How much do you need? Do you need supplies? How much? Business credit alone might not help you get 100% of the money you need, but it'll help you get most of it. The store credit, the vendor credit, the fleet credit, the cash credit, through that alone, you should be able to get most of the money you need. If you can qualify for any kind of financing because you have collateral, cash flow, or good credit, then in that case, you'll be able to probably get all the money you need. So in our world, there's no business we can't help. Almost every single type of business, you benefit because you get the money you need to be able to run the business. I already have my DUNS number. Do I need another? Nope, not if you already have one. Because I got a Cap One card. Well, Capital One is not a real true business credit card. Capital One Spark card reports to consumer and business credit. So just so you know that, I would stay away. If I use the cosign option, the guarantor, would there be credit be affected? Only if you default. Patrick, you have a choice when you get credit with our finance source. They have standard cards and commercial cards. Standard cards report to consumer reporting agencies. So if you don't want those, you tell the source, I don't want those. I only want the ones that report to the business credit reporting agencies. And then in that case, they only report on your business credit report. So there's no consumer credit reporting unless you default. And then if they default, it could show as a collection. How can this work with a direct selling business? Well, it works with any business. What you got to figure out, Brett, is what do you need money for? What are you going to spend? What do you need money for? And then where can you buy that stuff? So if I need office furniture and computers, I can go to HP and Dell, and I can go to Amazon, and I can go to IKEA, right? Well, all those are available in the finance suite. You can use IKEA and Amazon for furniture. You could get Dell and Apple for computers. So I won't know how it could help you unless you have listed out the things that you need the money to buy. That's really the starting point. But then if you list out what you need to buy and how much money you need, now all of a sudden, instead of needing 30 grand to start the business, now you only need $497 to start with us and get all the 30 grand to do the business. And that's what I look at, guys, is look, $500 a month for a lot of people isn't a little bit of money. But what I like to say is, how much money will you need to start this business? Do you really believe in what you're doing? If you really believe in getting your business off the ground, and you know it'll take 30 grand, and you know there's no reasonable way you're going to get 30 grand, then why focus on 30 grand instead of modifying some of your expenses to afford 500 to get the 30 grand? That's what being an entrepreneur is. We solve problems. Your problem is you need X amount of capital to start the business, 10 grand, 20, 30 grand. The problem is, you know, you're not going to just come up with 10, 20, 30 grand, right? Well, the answer then is find a way to get the 10, 20, 30 grand, and that's what I just proposed to you. So that's really just a creative way to actually solve the problem, no matter what industry that you're in. Okay, this program, good for real estate investors. I just talked about that. That's one of the biggest industries that we help. How much is the ultimate package? We don't offer, well, we'll offer you the same discount, $500 if you want the ultimate package. You can go to our main pricing page and get ultimate. The difference between the ultimate and the VIP discount you can get with this program is the ultimate, you get access to our sales funnel, and then we set up all of your marketing materials for you, so you don't have to. And we'll give you the same discount we give you on the webinar through this time. You just have to call us to actually physically get that, because it's not on our webinar special page. Can we qualify for personal guarantee with bankruptcy, 5 years old, but depth of credit mortgage? Usually they don't want bankruptcies on as a guarantor, but you know, if your credit's clean 5 years, you've got 700 scores, good revolving accounts, it's worth a soft pull to figure that out. Personally, I want to say thank you, I mean, and your team for all this invaluable wealth of information, as well as a life-changing business opportunity. I appreciate that, Zero. You must be a client. I appreciate that. I'm really blessed to be in my world, because we don't have unhappy customers. We've just got such an awesome team of people that will help you, and I don't even know how. I wish I could take credit for the culture we have, but it's kind of just self-developed, and I appreciate you being a partner. It sounds like you are. Thank you, and hopefully you're coming on the webinar here in a minute. I was referring to the personal guarantee option for initial financing. Does using the option for financing default the LLC protection for future business financing through your suite? No, it does not, Victor. That is the answer to that question that I misunderstood. What about RNA financing? I don't really know anything about RNA financing, to be honest with you, Ruben, but I can tell you if you call our team can 877, I got the number pulled up right here. They'll send you to our finance team, and they'll get you that answer. I really don't know the answer, and I'm not afraid to tell you when I don't. Does the Spark Card report to business? It reports to business and consumer. Stay away from Capital One. Thank you, Brett. Appreciate it. 31 Experian. Should I try for the Amazon now? I got one account reporting. Business is 3 years old. This is the problem. I don't have enough information. 31 Experian. I don't know if you're telling me that's your score or how many trade lines you have. I doubt you have 31 trade lines. So if you have 31 a score, that's a really low score. So again, applying for Amazon, it's not a matter of your score. It's a matter of how many trade lines you have. So you need to have at least 5 to even start thinking about getting approved for store credit. If I got the 150 funding option using my PG, can I eventually get more funding? Yeah, that's the whole purpose of what we do. Remember, when we build business credit, guys, the first step is to get 5 trade lines reporting. Then you can start to get no PG credit. The 150 and unsecured just helps you get those 5 trade lines reporting faster. So then that way it makes it faster for you to get the no PG. It just expedites the process. Marketing supplies for the company, sure. That's a Visa card to MasterCard and Amazon. You're buying that stuff. I can't sign up with Equifax. You can't. We only deal with our nav integration deals with Experian and D&B, not Equifax. There's a reason for that. Not a lot of people report to Equifax. That's why. Of every 10 sources you apply for with business credit, maybe 1 even reports to Equifax. So we don't advise our clients to even pay for Equifax because so few report there that we want to save money. That's why. Thank you so much, Robert. I appreciate you coming in. If I use the cosigner option, would their credit be affected? I already answered that for somebody else. And how can we move the money into a self-directed Roth IRA? Our finance team can help you do that with IRS-proven strategies where there's no penalties, but that's a little bit too complicated of a question to ask here. So that being said, I am right, perfect on time, 2:58. Awesome presentation. I'll be purchasing soon. Great, Ruben. I look forward to working with you. Guys, look, you know me. I will give you tons of free information that will help you along the way, but it's just like anything else. You know, if you don't know everything that we know collectively, then it's just going to take you a lot longer time to get the results we can help you get. And that's what you have to ask is, it's time or money? With us, we can work with you on initial investment and monthly payments to make it affordable to work with us. We save you the 411 and the D&B and all these extra costs you're going to get nickel and dime for. It's all part of our system. So when you look at it, we save you more money than you would spend on your own, and you work with our team and go through the fastest way to get money. So if you want to get the fastest access to money to get the business off the ground, whether you can get a loan or you can't, we have all those solutions for you. But it's not just fast and then you're done. We work with you indefinitely. Our finance team will continue to work with you to help you with all aspects of getting business loans and credit lines. Whenever you need us, we're here. So our job is to help you, even in the beginning stages, get access to capital when no one else will help you. We do it through a lot of loans and credit lines people don't know about, and we also help you do it through commercial credit. Once we've done that, then we help you get even more money without the personal guarantee using commercial credit. So right now, the first thing we're going to do is get you access to all the loans and credit lines you can qualify for right now. Then we're going to help you build commercial credit to help you get even more money without a personal guarantee, without a personal credit check. And again, if you're like, hey, look, I don't know. I mean, remember, there's no risk. You make the first payment, you get access to our team and everything to check it out. If you don't like it in 30 days, you cancel. We give you 100% of your money back. But if you do like it because you start to get results, which you will, then now we've just given you a V-line to get the money you need to actually grow the business, which is your ultimate goal. We're going to help you. If you can't get financing now, we help develop a finance blueprint to help you get money in the near future. So we help you with all aspects of getting business credit financing. We just expedite the process. We just make it easy and fast to get the results, because if you go to our YouTube channel, if you go to our Facebook, you'll see so many people have thousands of questions because they get stuck and they don't have anybody to turn to. Our customers don't have that problem. They get stuck, they immediately turn to us, they immediately get an answer and immediately get results. That helps take a process that could take you years on your own just to months. So that being said, I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up. And Robert says, I'm nervous. Talk to our team. And should I sign up for NAV? No, Brett, I wouldn't, especially if you're working with us, because you're going to get that right through our system as part of what we do. But, you know, so that would be my advice there. And look, Robert, I get it. I'm nervous too. You're nervous because you've been burned before. I've been burned before too. That's why we do what we do. We make it risk-free. You make one payment, you get it all. You can, you know, you get a guarantee to get your money back. Guys, keep in mind, if you go to our website and go to creditsuite.com/credibility, what you'll find is that you'll find how reputable we are. I mean, we've been doing this. We've helped over 10,000 people build business credit. Over 10,000 people build business credit. And of the 10,000 people we've helped business credit, we have no client that's ever complained about us, ever. It's never. Literally, we have an A+ BBB rating. We didn't pay them. We're not whatever they call with where you have to pay them money to get it. We earned it because we've never had a complaint in the lifetime of our company. We've got tons of video testimonials here. You can actually see real Vista video testimonials. You can see actual business credit results here, funding case studies. We're 5-star rated with Trustpilot as well, and you can see all the comments from real clients here and the real experience. You see we keep our 4s and our 3s and anything else. We keep them all, so you can see it's real. So at some point, you have to say, look, I'm dealing with the company here that's got all these people that have had real success, an A+ BBB rating with no complaints, a 5-star Trustpilot rating, tons of proof they can do what they say they're going to do, you know, and there's nothing really negative. We've had one online review from a guy that literally wasn't a client. He demanded that we give him our services for free in exchange for a testimonial. We told him no. He said he would file an online complaint, which he did. That's okay. We're not going to be bullied. We just don't believe in that. So I'd love to work with you guys. I have to go. I'm already late for my 3 o'clock partner webinar. But again, I don't expect you to just buy. Give us a call. Talk to our team. Our team will be the one helping you along the way. So talk to our team, 877-600-2487. Love to talk to you more. The offer expires Friday at midnight where you get those bonuses and save the 20%. So make sure you check it out, creditsuite.com/webinar special. Thank you all very much. I appreciate you all coming in and attending today, and I hope you all have an awesome day. Thanks, everybody. Have a great one.